In this video, we're going to be multiplying a polynomial by a polynomial. And in number one, it says multiply the polynomials. And in A, we have 2x minus 3 times x plus 4. And here we have two binomials multiplied by each other. And this is our special case above in the box. This is our FOIL method. So we're going to multiply the first terms together, which is going to be 2x times x. And then we're going to multiply the outer terms together, so 2x times 4. And then we're going to multiply the inner terms, so we have negative 3 times x, negative 3x. And then we're going to multiply the last term, so negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. And this is equal to 2x times x is 2x squared. And then we have 2x times 4 is 8x, minus 3x minus 12, and now we can combine our like terms, so we have 2x squared, and we have 8x minus 3x gives us 5x minus 12. In B, we have three binomials, so the first thing we would do is multiply the first two binomials together and then multiply it by the third binomial. And since we've already done 2x minus 3 times x plus 4 above, the first step is just rewrite using the result from part A. So we can say that this is equal to 2x squared plus 5x minus 12 times 3x minus 5. And then we want to multiply 3x minus 5 by each term in the first factor. So what we're going to do is take each term inside our trinomial and multiply it by both terms inside of our binomial. And that's going to be 2x squared times 3x minus 5 plus 5x times 3x minus 5 minus 12 times 3x minus 5. And this is equal to, and now we're going to use the distributive property to simplify this. So we have 2x squared times 3x is 6x cubed. 2x squared times negative 5 is negative 10x squared. And then we have 5x times 3x is 15x squared. And 5x times negative 5 is negative 25x. And then we have negative 12 times 3x is negative 36x. And negative 12 times negative 5 is positive 60. And now we want to combine all of our like terms. So we have 6x cubed, and then we have negative 10x squared plus 15x squared is positive 5x squared. And then we have negative 25x minus 36x, and that's going to give us minus 61x, and then plus 60. And C, we have x squared minus 4x plus 1 times 2x squared plus 6x minus 3. And the first thing it wants us to do is multiply 2x squared plus 6x minus 3 by x squared, negative 4x, and 1. So just like we did above when we had the trinomial and the binomial, now we have two trinomials, and we're going to multiply each term in the second trinomial by each of the terms in the first trinomial. So we're going to have x squared, which is the first term in the first trinomial, times each term in the second trinomial. So we'll write the whole trinomial. And then we have minus 4x, which is our second term in the first trinomial, times the entire second trinomial. And then our last term is plus 1. And now we're going to use the distributive property. So this is equal to x squared times 2x squared is equal to 2x to the fourth. X squared times 6x is 6x cubed. X squared times negative 3 is negative 3x squared. And now we have negative 4x times 2x squared, negative 8x cubed. Negative 4x times 6x is negative 24x squared. And negative 4x times negative 3 gives me a positive 12x. And then we have 1 times our entire trinomial, so it's just going to be the trinomial, 2x squared plus 6x minus 3. And now we want to combine like terms. So we have 2x to the fourth, and now we have 6x cubed minus 8x cubed is going to be negative 2x cubed. And we have negative 3x squared minus 24x squared is negative 27x squared, plus 2x squared is negative 25x squared. And then we have 12x plus 6x is 18x and minus 3. In D, we have 10x times 1/2 x squared plus 2 times 1/5 x squared minus 3. And the first thing it wants us to do is multiply the first two factors. So that means we're going to multiply 10x times 1/2 x squared plus 2. And that's going to equal 10x times 1/2 x squared is going to be 5x cubed. And 10x times 2 is 20x times 1/5 x squared minus 3. And now we want to multiply the resulting binomial. So we're going to use FOIL method here. So we're going to have first terms. So we have 5x cubed times 1/5 x squared. And 5 times 1/5 is 1. X cubed times x squared is x to the 5th. And now we're going to multiply our outer terms. So we have 5x cubed times negative 3, negative 15, x cubed. And now our inner terms, 20 times 1/5 is 4. And x times x squared is x cubed. And then we have 20x times negative 3, negative 60x. And now we want to combine our like terms. So we're going to have x to the 5th. And now we have minus 15x cubed plus 4x cubed is going to give us minus 11x cubed minus 60x. And that's our video on multiplying a polynomial by a polynomial.